animated day. You walk us through kind of what you saw.
It wasn't good enough. Not any phase of what we did today was up to the standard of what the new Wake Forest needs to be. Point blank, period. From pre-practice to flex to our early compete stuff, we don't want to compete till the end. We got no time for that, right? So it's a disappointing day. Leadership on the team knows that. We're going to respond to it, right? That's the best part, right? Walking off this field, we got a choice to make. Some days are like that. It just wasn't good enough. And unfortunately, or fortunately, it took us 7 practices to get to this point, right? So we got a big scrimmage on Thursday. I don't know if we were thinking about that, but we didn't come with the right energy and execution today.
At what point in the practice do you figure out the energy just isn't right?
Well, I could see it. I can see it when at 6:45 in the meetings, right? And then we get to the pre-practice stretch, and then we get out there to the field. You know, it's just a standard over feelings approach, right? We got a standard here. Everyone's sore. Everyone's a little beat up. We're in the middle of camp. This is football, right? It's a tough game. You got to dig in every day and bring it, not just in the fourth quarter finish where emotions are high and we got a 2-point shootout. It was good then, right? The red zone period was really good, right? And there is some generally good things happening out there, right? And we did take a step, but it wasn't a big enough step that we needed on the second day of red zone.
The quarterbacks, obviously, there's no official pecking order, but it feels like Robbie's really coming along. You know, what did you see out of him when you first recruited him, and how has he kind of responded from maybe a little bit of a slower start to camp?
Well, I think it's one thing with Robbie. I mean, he has some experience. He's been a lot of places, right? So he's been through this, quarterback competition thing. He knows what it looks like. But the athlete, I think he's an elite athlete. The throwing the ball is coming there, and we're putting in some stuff in the red zone, and now with a quarterback run game that really fits his strengths. I think you see him getting more and more comfortable with the offense and what we're asking him to do. But in the quarterback room in general, I'm waiting for those guys to just, they're kind of in their silo, right? They're so focused on what they're doing, which I understand. New offense, new scheme, but just kind of seeing those guys spread that leadership stuff for the rest of the team. And when Robbie's on, he has that energy, and I think he has that vibe. So we got to just see it all throughout practice.
There's a player aspect to that, but there's also probably a coaching aspect, with Daniels and
yeah.
the room. What's your expectation out of them to kind of help foster that?
Well, I think it's everybody, but quarterbacking, it's just a unique deal. You got to have that. The best ones I've been around haven't always been the most talented, but they get the other guys to play for them and with them and understand just what it takes to do it at a high level every day. So I just want to hear their voices. Every once in a while, it's okay, to say, hey, man, I need this route better, or I need this protection better, or, just doing it their own way. So step by step, I just want to see those guys get more and more comfortable as now we get to the back half of spring camp.
You talked about Robbie, you said when he's on. Are you seeing enough consistency out of your quarterbacks at camp right now?
No, I mean, you just look at the, taking care of the ball chart. I mean, we've turned the ball over quite a bit. Some of that's learning, some of it's defense flying around, some of it's the pressure. There's a lot of things that go into that, but decision-making as a whole isn't where we need it to be. I thought they did a good job responding to Saturday. Saturday, it was just a giveaway machine. We know we got to play sound football, we got to value the ball, and it starts with the quarterback position.
You mentioned big scrimmage on Thursday. What does that look like now for you guys? What does that day and that morning look like?
Well, so it's been about 90 plays, about 60 of those plays live, 30 thuds. So, we get a mixture of a bunch of different guys, and, it's getting those veteran guys some looks in that thud period, and then, kind of making, we got some big decisions to make at the end of this camp. These guys know that. We've been very upfront and honest, with the guys that need to compete to make this roster, right? So it's a big kind of separation day as far as who's going to be doing what and carving out some roles and just seeing who can execute the base fundamentals, right? That's what I told the coaches. We're going to be very basic schematically so we can see our guys play extremely fast, and that's exactly what we need to see. That's the main goal.
You talked about making the roster. It's very NFL, OTA kind of style. Is that kind of the style you want to have here at Wake Forest?
It's just part of it. Yeah. It's just part of it. This is college football now. As fluid as rosters can be, there's opportunities that we got to make sure we're finding the right guys for our football team, right? And you got to earn that every day. Coaches got to earn it. Players got to earn it. Support staff has to earn it, right? So these guys know where we're at, and you got to earn your place on this team.
So when you see like a Demon Deacon enter the transfer portal like a couple days ago, fans should internalize that as the two sides are just seeing it's not going to work.
Yeah, I mean, some people want bigger roles. Some people, need to seek other opportunities to go play. The best thing I ever did in my whole life was play Division III football. I learned so much from that experience. I loved it. I played the game. But you got to earn it, right? Just because you do it out of high school, that doesn't mean you don't have to keep doing it every single day. And that's kind of the mentality that we will always have, and we support those guys. And so there will be some roster transition towards the end of spring.
You guys good?
Yep.
All right, go Deeks.
Did you ever figure out the restaurant?
Aiden, I mean, your room has had so much continuity out of all of them. How does that feel when you're making that adjustment to a whole new coaching staff?
It feels great. I mean, obviously, change is always whew, but once you embrace the change, you just come to work every day. I mean, it's just another day at the job with just a new boss, so it feels great.
You had a season last year where in your freshman year, everyone's like, this is going to be the next kind of guy. And last year, a bit banged up, just didn't find your footing all that season. Maybe a prime candidate when there's a change to find a new place. Why'd you stay?
I stayed because of my team, really. It's just the faith of my guys and people around me. I just really wanted to be a part of something. I wanted to be a part of something here special at Wake Forest, so yeah.
You got a big smile on your face when you said that. What about that thought process kind of lifts you up?
I just love it. I just love Wake Forest. I love the team. I love my guys. That's really all I can say. I just love my guys on the team, so yeah.
Like Cam said, there's a lot of continuity in that linebacker room. How much of a change has it been for you guys in terms of what you're doing on the field? And have you all kind of leaned on each other, I guess, to kind of work through these changes?
Yes, it's been a huge change, but not necessarily in scheme, but necessarily in how we play and how we plan together and the roles. And we just got to learn that everybody got roles, and everybody's roles have changed because of new staff. So we all just working together and bonding together.
I'm assuming Coach Dickert relayed to you guys after practice he wasn't real happy with the early parts of practice. What does that look like? How demonstrative does that become?
It's just like a game. You don't want to come out in the game first quarter flat, because you come out flat, you can't really come back. So it's kind of just like here at practice. We come out here flat. We kind of even though we had finished off good, it kind of just neglects it. So we come out strong, we finish strong.
Thanks, Aiden. Appreciate it.
Carlos, you're one of the first new guys you've gotten to talk to. Can you compare, the practices you had at Washington State with, kind of the practices you've had so far here?
Dev, I'd probably say the weather. Weather's a lot better out here. I mean, those cold mornings coming out there when it's icy feel, nobody likes that. But no, the weather's nice out here, nice and breezy, sun's out, so it's definitely a good vibe over here for sure.
Because you're experienced with Coach Dickert, how does that impact your making the transition to Wake Forest?
I feel like a little easier for sure. The schedule is pretty much similar, so I feel like just getting used to the school, the academics here. My surroundings is a little new, but the schedule is pretty much the same, so there's nothing new to get around here.
And the way he's running the practices, the way he's running camp and everything,
pretty much the same, yes sir.
When Coach Dickert made the move to leave Washington State and come over here, I guess your head was kind of spinning during all that. What went through your mind, and what led to the decision to come out this far east to Wake Forest?
Yeah, I think it was just finding the best spot for me. Honestly, feeling the best fit for me. But I came on my visit, felt like home. Already knowing all the coaches here, the strength staff, same staff. So I felt like it was a no-brainer at that point. Just be with the same coach, especially Coach Ed, great coach. He knows what he wants from me. So I feel like that decision was just pretty much made up after transfer portal.
Generally speaking, it seems like the defense might be a step or two ahead of the offense early on in camp, but yet the receiver group has made quite a few nice plays.
Yes, sir.
What are you seeing out of your teammates in those positions?
We're all ball players. I think it's the connection between the QBs and us. I feel like that's still building up.
Yeah.
So I feel like once we get to that point, offense is going to be a step of the defense every day. But I feel like we did have a slow start, but the more we get our connection building up, the receivers is just we keep making plays for the offense.
How difficult is it to build that connection when you're spreading the reps over so many quarterbacks, right?
QBs,
it's got to be a little tough, right?
Yeah, definitely different reps with different QBs is a little hard sometimes. But I feel like after the extra work we put in before spring kind of helped us there. I feel like more reps during later on in the spring is going to help us get to that point where we can just, go on the field and make plays with each other.
Like they said, you're the first new guy that we've got, really had a chance to talk to. So a lot of the returning Wake Forest players have said they rely on the Washington State players almost as Jake Dickert translators.
Yeah.
Like, what does the coach mean when he's talking about this? How is that kind of coming together worked out with some of the returning Wake Forest players?
Yeah, I mean, as soon as we got here, we had our own winter workouts, fourth quarters. A lot of questions were asked. What's Coach Dickert like? What's his schedule like? I was more than very happy to help them out and give them that advice that they needed. But yeah, a lot of people were asking questions.
Dickert wasn't happy at the end of practice. With the way the energy early on in practice. You heard that from him before.
Yeah, plenty times. Yeah, he's a coach that knows what he wants from practice, what he knows what he wants from us. So I feel like it's a standard every time with him. He's gonna expect that standard every time we go out to practice.
Did you know early on, you guys as a group probably weren't meeting his expectations?
I feel like the offense was doing great. To be honest with you, I feel like the offense was doing great. We were killing it on one-on-ones, but it was a little slow start from both sides. I could feel the energy a little low beginning of practice, but as soon as practice ramped up, we got it together.
Running backs take a little bit of pressure off you guys as wide receivers. What have you seen out of Damon, and how is it playing with a guy like that?
Athletic player. I give you that. He's a shifty, gifted athlete. I can tell you that. When we get the ball in his hands, we hope he makes a play when he gives us a break. But we can always rely on DC to get us down the field.
Thanks, Carlos.
Yeah,
Nice
thank
meeting
you.
you.
Thanks,
Yes, sir.
Carlos.
Thank you
Good
very
seeing
much.
man.